Didn't you say one?
Hi, I'm Afro Circuit.
I'm Plot Boy.
And this is...
It's that One Bronyshow, not the other Bronyshow. It's that One Bronyshow. It's that One Bronyshow, not that Bronyshow. It's that One Bronyshow.
Perfect. Alright, so, this is That One Bronyshow, a show where we get together and discuss the latest episodes and give our little spiel as to everything pony. And
Yes.
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 I disagree.
And eat your crackers. Give me some crackers. Anyway. So, today, good crackers. Oyster crackers, everyone. Buy them.
Put them in your chili.
Put them in your chili. Very tasty.
Product placement.
Alright, so, we're going to get to talking about the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. This was a very interesting episode, I will say that.
I loved it.
I personally, for some reason, and I think this was because I had to wake up and take the SAT, so I was all tired and grumbly, and I watched it, and I guess I was just not feeling well to think properly.
You saw it 15 minutes late. So.
Yeah, I saw it 15 minutes late. The SAT had me go till 9:15, so I was like, no, I have to wait for it to be posted. I had to wait 15 minutes for ponies.
And I have
No one ever makes me wait 15 minutes for ponies. I'm planning on writing a strongly worded letter to the SAT saying SAT should not extend any longer than 8:45, and then take a temporary pony break, then come back and finish the test.
I was busy carving a shiv in prison.
Okay.
Out of a little tiny...
I just didn't see it because I'm not a brownie. But I saw the last couple episodes we did.
So, but after I saw it again, though, I was like, oh my god, this episode is rainbow. So, this was... We finally got a fairly good Applejack episode. After getting sniped from the spotlight by Derpy in that last episode, she really did need a bit of a redeeming episode. But at the same time, her spotlight... She had to share the spotlight with the Flim Flam brothers. Like, she really did. But altogether, she still...
The Flim Flam brothers are basically Applejack's Trixie.
They are Applejack's Trixie.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to put
They
it.
come into town, they're all like, I'm awesome. And Applejack's
Yeah.
just like,
They're
step and watch
Applejack...
my magic.
You know what? I bet you the Flim Flam brothers are going to run into Trixie on the road, and they're going to join together, and they're going to start making the anti-elements of harmony.
Well, I mean, they could just make a caravan. They hook up Trixie's little wagon to
Her wagon to the
a
back
convoy of supervillains.
convoy of antagonists. And we still need anti-rarity and anti. I get Gilda could be sort of in it, but she was really more of the anti-Pinkie Pie in the 4th episode.
So
there could be a lot, but let's not get into that.
There's more to talk about. So to get more back to this episode though. So this was a very interesting episode, and there's definitely a lot of things that we got out of it. But altogether, Applejack finally got a decent episode. So we roll back a little bit to the beginning of the episode, and this is just another one of those classic DHX openings where
the hell am I?
Yeah, it's just like nice.
Why
quiet,
am I here?
Just a nice, quiet, peaceful moment in the show, and then all of a sudden,
our hopes with the Fluttershy,
and then dashing them away.
Dash.
Who could that be? It's still dark. Come on, Fluttershy! Cider season's about to start!
Literally dashing them away. We go in, and Fluttershy's just asleep in her house, and all of a sudden, Dash comes in, rips off her covers, exposes her naked.
She didn't rip off the covers. She just made them fall down.
She made them fall down.
Let's not cross into the dirty section.
What? It's not dirty.
It's not dirty.
Actually
They never
happened.
wear clothes. So I, for some reason,
You're
Fluttershy...
always naked. Me gusta.
Me gusta.
If you haven't seen that meme, you don't
You,
visit.
you don't
visit the internet enough.
You don't visit the internet. So,
Even
any-
I've seen it. I'm a non-brony character.
yeah, so she just adorably blushes, and then Rainbow Dash rushes her out the window. I'm wondering if that door probably doesn't get a lot of traffic between Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. They just fly out the windows a lot. They're just like, tours. So, they fly out, and then note at very many points, they're flying sideways. I find that pretty impressive.
Skills.
Oh, where are we? What's the rush? The rush? Don't you remember what happened last year? Or the year before that? Or pretty much any cider season ever?
They're just sideways and talking, not paying attention anywhere where they're going, and yet completely able to sustain flight. That ties into more of the fact that we're pretty sure flight is pretty magical in its own.
Moreover, it doesn't take much to just think, point A, point B.
So, obviously the next part is when the whole reason why Rainbow Dash woke Fluttershy up in the middle of the night is because apparently every year Pinkie Pie beats them ahead in line and they run out of cider. So they're like, oh, let's get an early start. So they fly over as fast as they can, and then it's like the waiting line for the Apple iPhone 4 the day it...
Pinkie Pie! She always ends up ahead of us in line, and then they always run out of cider! I guess Well, not this year! This year, I'm gonna get there before sunrise, so I can drink all the cider I want and laugh when she doesn't get any! It's the perfect plan! You know, I might even buy some cider and hold on to it for a while, drinking it drop by drop in front of her. Gee, Rainbow Dash, looks like a few other ponies had the same idea.
Really, the problem she should have is getting in front of everybody else. Pinkie Pie just takes a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, did last year Pinkie Pie just buy all of it?
Yeah, did she just I'll take all of your berries?
How rich was Pinkie Pie last year?
Well, I mean, she seems to always have the money to make her little contraptions. You know what? Patents. That's where she gets her money. Patents.
Pinkie Pie's a mad inventor?
A mad inventor, yeah. She's
And,
definitely.
and when she does polka at venues.
Oh, yes. She had to learn those skills somewhere, the one-man band.
Yeah.
I think that's just natural.
This is also, it could just
Why
be
she
natural
plays
talent.
Friday, the world will never know.
She doesn't play Friday. That's another thing.
Yes, I know, but I tend to reference memes.
So,
Yes, but once again, let's get back to the whole things that they will know.
So, back to the whole Pinkie thing. So, there's this long line of people camping out, and then Pinkie obviously has her custom-made tent with the balloons on it. But then on top of that, when she opens it up, she's got little deployable balloons that come out.
Oh, gosh, Pinkie, I love your new style.
She just sleeps floating in the air with the balloons keeping her afloat.
Yeah, she doesn't need a sleeping bag. She's
Zero G.
0G thanks to the balloons. And then, of course, there's her messy hair, which immediately pops back to its original splendor. Just poof.
What, your hair doesn't do that?
No, I wish my hair did that. Unfortunately,
My hair does that.
My hair gets flat on one side. If you ever see me on a day where I lose my afro pick, ooh, cracker. If you ever see me on a day where I don't have an afro pick, my hair is... This hair doesn't come fabulously on its own, folks. It takes some effort. We got shampoo, conditioner, but I digress. So,
Doggy dude.
Fabulous.
So, of course, then after Pinkie Pie takes first in line, she buys, 8 cups, and then just walks off with it, just like, yeah, that's right, people. Haters gonna hate. Although, it makes me wonder, if they always run out of cider, shouldn't they have, a cup per limit per people to make sure that everyone gets a chance?
2 drink minimum.
Yeah, 2 drink minimum, but no, you just... We hope we don't run out before the end of the day.
We always do everything for the community. You know what? This time we're just gonna say the community.
Well, they're selling a product. You don't really have when it comes to growing stuff. You either grow stuff or you don't grow stuff.
If you sell
And if you don't grow stuff, well, you don't sell stuff. This is how farming works, people.
No, what I'm
Pay
saying.
attention to your
No, what I'm
farmers.
saying is, fuck the community. We're not gonna have a limit. When we sell out, we sell out. We're rich. You're
Well,
not.
that's because they only make a certain amount.
All right.
How can you sell more than you have? Oh wait, I forgot the stock market.
Nice.
So next we get to the part.
Yes, I
where-
built you all up for that.
So next
Feel
we,
my swag.
so next we get to the part about Big Macintosh. He obviously he's the one that carries the barrel over. Now these barrels are completely there's regular storage barrels. Yet when he brings them over to the table, they have a spout that magically attaches to them, and then this spout is not used. They have a faucet that's handle controlled.
Maybe two spouts sprout out, and one's in the back and one's in the front.
But then why would they need one in the front?
Maybe they just can't control it.
That they can't control the cider?
Yeah.
Is that the Apple family's magic? That they have magic cider that can't be controlled?
No, they have magic
Well, they
barrels.
They have
Yeah.
magic barrels?
Obviously.
Well, they have Pepsi apples.
They did have the...
They did have the Zap apples that totally look like Pepsi symbols when you look. Trust me, folks. Look at it. Just look at them from afar and they're like, oh my god. Product placement.
So, in this episode, obviously, yet again, we get back to the fact that the whole reason why Rainbow Dash was so early for this is that apparently they always run out of cider for her. Well, apparently this year doesn't go
Why
any
did she
better.
let Fluttershy go in front of her?
She was being a nice person. How could you would feel like a total dick if you didn't let Fluttershy have your cup. I could not give Fluttershy my cup if I had the last
You
one.
could not give
Fluttershy's
Fluttershy your cup?
I could not.
Yes.
So, next week, obviously, we have to feel so bad for Rainbow Dash. I mean, first, she's the last person in
Oh,
line,
cruel
and
irony.
they
Your
run out.
sting.
They run out of cider. It's just like, ah. Then, even after the Flim Flam brothers give her a cup of cider, then Applejack's just like, nope.
You can't sell that cider. That's made from Apple family apples. Is this some kind of cruel joke?
Falls on
Delicious
the ground.
cider flavored dirt.
Just eat it. No, is this some kind of cruel joke?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So
Now
I
continue for my pleasure.
had to feel so bad for Rainbow Dash this episode because even at the very end they ran out of cider again. But luckily enough, Pinkie Pie chose chose a lot of nots for me this episode. She chose to not share. She chose to not share.
She chose to share.
She chose to.
Why don't we just not mess around with the knots? So can you not?
I can. I can.
You cannot?
I can.
He's just tongue-tied.
So obviously the problem we always have to have some sort
Got
of
my lips
conflict.
all limbered up.
So we obviously have to have a conflict in every episode.
Bye.
So obviously, in this episode, that part is when the
I'm him too. I'm also me.
So in that part, it's obviously when
The Flim Flam brothers start coming down.
they
the road.
roll into town.
In Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, no less.
Chitty Bang.
If you haven't seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
You
need
had
to
no
see
childhood.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What history is that?
But yeah.
We all do love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you.
Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you.
And in Chitty Chitty Bang.
So they roll into town and they're these great just like barber shop old timey entrepreneur ponies. the classic magic elixir and magic device kind of guys. And so
they get out of their car, and what starts?
Song!
And this was a damn good one.
This was a pretty damn catchy song.
I immediately start listening to it over and over again.
Yeah, it was a great little show tuney song, and it was we had another full we obviously had the duet with Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, but with Find a Pet, but of course we had the Rarity
And
song.
pony mustaches. They are confirmed.
So it was nice to have just a nice little song going on in the background that we could finally enjoy. It's always nice to get a song from time to time. Pause. Magic food appearance, magic jacket. Oh,
Magic dream.
And I'm back.
he's
Great.
back. He's back. He's back.
We used Phoenix down.
So
He was instantly revived.
altogether, this was a great song. Another good song for us all to add to our iPods. It's nice and catchy, and it was just really well done. I got it yet again. More hands to that. More hands.
Mustaches.
Mustache. Yes.
My mustache.
Flim has an awesome mustache. So then they start offering this opportunity for the Apple family to produce more cider. And so but then of course it comes with a really nasty little catch. And that's a nice little split up of 75-25. And then of course, as we know, the Apple family's budget is balanced on the tip of a
The
razor.
economy in Ponyville makes no sense.
Like, it seems as if any time they don't sell something, they're gonna lose their
No
farm.
sense.
It seems like they would have started to branch out and start making more money to compensate for these things.
And
but
Filthy Rich doesn't even seem to have a job.
he
does. He
owns the
redistributes the Zap Apple jam.
and he owns the Barnyard Bargains.
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
store that we've
Alright.
never seen
He basically
before.
owns Walmart.
Yeah, it's
Pony
Pony
Edition.
Walmart.
That's right. Never mind. I forgot that.
Alright, so then of course they have to say no. They have to say no deal, and no, Big Mac, no deal.
So, what will it be? No deal.
I would have gone with 50-50 and Twilight could have provided the magic.
This is true. She would have provided the magic. But yeah, so obviously we get that. We get, so then they have to say no deal. Big Mac totally needed the little glass case with the red button. Just no deal.
Don't.
So it's been memed. Somebody beat me to it. I was gonna do it in like 15 minutes before I was done making it. Somebody beat me to it. I was like, oh. So next is we get to the competition to find out, or actually, no, the thing that really sparks the competition is when they call Granny Smith a Scootaloo.
What's the matter, Granny Smith? Chicken?
What did you call me, Sonny?
If you're so confident in your cider, then what's the problem?
Tomorrow morning, right here!
They call her a chicken, that's right, everyone. And we all know that just won't stand. Calling someone a Scootaloo is just the lowest of the low.
That's ground.
What about when you call a Scootaloo a Scootaloo?
Scootaloo is
that's just
Scootaloo.
normal.
That's just normal.
It's like
So-
calling a chicken a chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken don't give no.
They don't care, but if you call anything else a chicken, then it's like, whoa, them's fighting words.
Except for maybe turkey.
So then we get to this competition to find out who will be the sole cider provider. Very catchy.
That is a nice title.
It's a nice little title, sole cider provider. So we get this nifty little competition between the Flim Flams, Super Cider Squeezy 6000, and the Apple family. And so they immediately start, and then of course Flim and Flam are just sitting there, magic. And then of course the Apple family working hard to put the love and care that they take to put into their cider.
Sofas.
It has a sofa on the front. It's very functional. The Super Speedy Cider Squeezy has a podium and a sofa, and it's mobile. Definitely should be invented.
Plus it has cider in it.
And it makes cider. So they start doing the competition, and then one thing that was really interesting was the fact that the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy is making 3 barrels to their every one, yet they seem to be processing things at the exact same rate. Like, I'm forced to assume that maybe it's like a 3-chamber thing, like the window only shows 1 chamber for show purposes, and then there's 2 separate sorting chambers on the inside that we can't see. Because we only see, oh my god, we only see the right side of the machine. It could be completely like nothing on the other side. It could all be a cardboard box, and there's really just a pony back there controlling everything.
Pay no attention to the pony behind the car.
Yeah, we never see the right side of this thing. We only see the left side.
I think it's safe to assume that this is the same logic we use for vending machines. It probably works the same way that we think it does. But there's a small chance there's someone in the back.
So anyway,
I'd work as a guy in a soda machine.
So then we get to the part where obviously
You're a really nice guy. Pop 2 out.
So obviously then we get to the part where Hubris has to take down the Flim Flam brothers. And that's when obviously the other main 6 are like, hey, do you think it'd be okay if honorary family members helped? And they're like, we could win with our eyes closed. And yet they seem to forget 3 ponies are producing 1 to 3, but they're gaining 5 more, so if anything, at the least it would do would put them at equal capacity, especially with 1 of them being a unicorn and 2 of them being Pegasus.
They probably would have won anyways. They already had a huge stockpile compared to the Apple family.
Yeah. So, then obviously they agree to let them help, and so we get to, with everyone helping, for some reason, we find out in Applebuck season, Twilight can clear like 5 to 8 motherfucking trees of apples like that with magic. Yet she's on lid duty. She puts the lids on the barrels.
Fluttershy is the Snorlax, the Florax. She speaks for the trees.
She flies into the trees. I assume she has a very vigorous conversation.
She
with
knows all of the pressure points of the tree.
Tree.
And she presses them, and it makes all the apples fall. It's so obvious, people.
Either that or she gives it the stare and it just shakes the apples off.
Well, she did it in Applebuck season. No reason.
It
for
just
her to do
knows
now.
better.
It knows.
Fluttershy!
You made the apples fall out of the tree.
Fluttershy!
Ah!
Ah!
So,
Listen up,
obvious.
Here's the levels of cuteness. Here's you, Spike, at the bottom. Then there's the main 6. Then there's the background. Then there's all of the minor flaws in the background. Then, and it goes all of the background characters. Then Fluttershy. Any questions? If you haven't seen DBZ abridged, do it.
Look it up.
Wait. And we have to make this about ponies, too. Friendship is witchcraft.
Very
That is
good parody. We haven't made a mention to it yet because I originally was gonna do my own personal community segment, but it just ended up.
Community and dumb questions, guys.
Anyway, I was gonna cover like pony art and stuff like that, but it ended up being way too much editing to try to tackle in 1 week along with homework.
Are you going to?
I swear I'll turn this couch around, young man.
We have this where everyone pitches in to help, and so they're able to start keeping up. So then Flim and Flam just panic and they're like, holy crap, double the power.
Come on, brother. We've got to pick up the pace. Right. Double the power.
Huzzah! The power has been doubled. And so they double the power, and then all that does is make it suck up trees, which increases the number of crap apples that they get in there. And so, and then eventually, then they're just like, you know what? Don't even bother sorting it anymore. So then we get all these crap apples passing through the super speedy cider squeezy, and so it does give them a speed edge. But there's a little side effect to this. So after they all finish, it's all a hard challenge, And then we're of course thinking, oh, hoping that they won. We can't have the apples lose their job. That's like part of the apple family if they lose the farm. And so, but then of course, Flim and Flam win, and we're all just like, fool. And so then we get the good old them just walking away. Oh, and actually,
Sad Hulk music.
And before I move on, I'm sorry I missed this in the notes. I also wanted to point out the contrast between Rarity and Granny Smith's sorting. That you've got Granny Smith with a good 'em, bad 'em, good 'em, bad 'em, and then we've got Rarity with a
Lovely,
horrid,
horrid.
lovely, horrid.
Lovely, horrid, lovely.
Lovely.
So horrid I must destroy it.
So that was definitely something that was entertaining to watch. So then the Apple family was like, go on, get, because obviously they're no longer the sole cider provider, and so then everyone's like, okay, well then I guess these guys are our cider people.
I'm sorry, but Flim and Flam Fields is just way better than Sweet Apple Acres. It just rolls off the tongue.
It does roll off the tongue. And then I love the fact that the people who were cheering on Flim and Flam, and that were singing along and so happy about Flim and Flam, still feel bad that they just like ran the Apple family out of business. Like if they were good.
Moreover, no more apple pie.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. That's
cider.
another thing. If the apples lose their home, it's not just the cider business that they stop doing. Like, obviously, Ponyville...
Pie, apple fritter, apple strudel, apple...
Yeah, obviously, Ponyville, as we know it, their food system would fail. So, it makes me wonder what logic these ponies were thinking of. But, don't fret, for goodness has still come. And that is the fact that, because of the fact they let crap apples through... I like saying that, crap apples. And so, they let all these crap apples through, and so that makes pretty crappy cider.
Drink up, Ponyville! Down the hatch!
Can't get the taste on my tongue!
Mine's got rocks in it.
I wouldn't pay 1 cent for this drip.
I can't get the taste out my mouth. Mine
got
has rocks in it.
I got a rock.
So obviously the cider completely fails, and I still love that. Mine's got rocks in it.
Totally a Charlie Brown shout out.
By the way, Bon Bon gets a voice, a really weird voice, but nonetheless she has a voice now, and so then we get
Give
this,
voices to all the secondary characters.
Should we make them the best voices they can be? No.
But make them slightly okay.
Slightly okay. And so, then we get the classic "play us out, Johnny" moment where they're just like, "Let's go," because obviously they hate us now.
It looks like we've encountered a slight problem here in Ponyville. No pony wants our product. Next town? Next town. Let's go, Flim. Let's go, Flam.
And
Well, that's what you do when you're a traveling sales pony, non-palais.
so they run out of town at top speed. And so then obviously the apples, they get the cider business back. And so then we get the best, by far, in my opinion, the best letter home to Celestia. And yet again, it's one of those telepathic letters to Celestia. They don't like writing anymore. Like, they don't write these anymore.
Poor Spike.
He's really out of a job. I mean, his entire purpose in life, sending letters, being a #1 assistant. He hasn't gotten to send a lot of letters yet. It's like
And Aloysius is...
Yeah, and Aloysius is still around to help. So basically, he's got like a fourth of his existence left. I'm thinking that's why he hasn't been...
Yeah, he's had a lot of time to woo Rarity.
Yeah, and yet she still faints for another guy.
So... Wait, didn't she fade for the guy who had a mustache?
Yeah.
But she doesn't like mustaches.
Oh yeah, she doesn't go for a mustache. What the heck?
You know girls, they always say they don't like one thing and then they end up liking it.
Damn.
Maybe it's just Spike's mustache.
So
We'll
anyway...
leave it later.
Anyway, the letter is fantastic. And that's...
I
didn't
learned
learn
shit.
Dear Princess Celestia, I wanted to share my thoughts with you. Ahem. I didn't learn anything. I was right all along. If you take your time to do things the right way, your work will speak for itself. Sure, I could tell you I learned something about how my friends are always there to help me, and I can count on them no matter what. But truth is, I knew that already too.
I didn't learn anything. I was right all along. And so it's just like this big screw. Like she's just like, Celestia, I didn't learn anything. You.
I'm wasting this paper just 'cause I can.
So obviously,
I'm so rich.
I'm pretty sure
Let's go,
Celestia's just
really.
like, one of these days, Applejack, to the
Damn,
moon.
straight to the moon. Oh, come on.
So
Moon.
obviously, fantastic ending. And then Rainbow Dash almost still doesn't get any cider. They run out at the last minute, even though there's a whole stack of them there. They still seem to run out. But luckily enough, Pinkie Pie gives her a cup. So Rainbow Dash.
Irony. Why your bitter sting? Must irony stab mine heart? My true desire?
So obviously,
Shakespearean up in this bizzle?
Rainbow Dash finally gets her cup of cider. Still not quite fair, because I mean she only got one the entire cider season. Unless cider season continues past this episode.
Probably. I mean, they still have apples.
They do still have apples, so I guess they can still make cider. It
Real
makes me
question
wonder
is,
why there's a cider season.
What do they do with the bad cider barrels? Do they just dump them in the river?
I'm thinking that
Do they bury them like nuclear?
I think they give it to the orphanage ponies we were talking about from last episode, the British orphanage ponies.
You want to know how I became British?
So, this was a great episode. I mean, obviously there are people who probably didn't feel it for this episode, because this episode, it was a little off from usual episode dynamics.
The problem came from outside when it usually comes from inside and bad advice.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was still a great episode. So,
Yeah.
I personally have nothing bad to say about this episode, and I hope that you don't have anything bad to say about it. So, that luckily covers just about everything. So, I'm Afro Circuit.
I'm Plot Point.
Now
And
that
this
one
is-
guy. Come on.
I didn't know you
You
were
keep
gonna say
cutting off my line.
Well, then say something. And why do people always
Say
pick up
it
my
so
quote?
commanding.
Anyway,
Command!
So
I
I-
command you to watch this video.
And I'm that one guy. Thanks.
Afro Circuit, Plot Point. That one guy. Play us out, Johnny. Woo!
Mine's got rocks in it.
I wouldn't pay 1 cent for this trick. Pay me off, Johnny.